Hey, it's Astro D, making learning astrology real simple and easy, but relationships and synastry, that's my specialty. Thank you very much for checking out this week's weekly astrology video that I love providing. And in this week, I'm going to break down what's going on with this full moon we got coming up, and how is it going to affect your week? What is it going to do for you? And for you, it's specifically to your sign. What is your ascendant, sun, and moon sign? Definitely check that out before you even go any further in this video so that you can really flow with me and how this goes. So also make sure you like, share, subscribe to this page, or follow me on Instagram at AstroDeeStars5 to stay in touch. So I got hit up a lot about, in my DM what's been going on with this Bill Cosby thing. All right, and this is why I say, this all coincides with this Pluto retrograde. A lot of rugs are going to be pulled under from a lot of people's feet. You check out last week's video, I mentioned that, talking about this Pluto retrograde, especially when it comes to sex crimes. Pluto rules sex crimes, and also within the Scorpio sign, this is a descriptive way of talking about that. So this full moon in Scorpio is the same thing. Now, the thing about this full moon, though, I kind of dig it. I can dig this full moon. Because now, you know how when I talk about aspects, I like to talk about them in its party form, and I try to make it real simple, easy, and kind of funny. If you laugh, if you feel like laughing with me. So, talking about what is the terrain of this full moon, how would I describe it? First, I would describe this full moon as, let's say the moon goes into a party. The moon is like, oh my God, like what kind of party is this? Already, not necessarily who's there, but maybe they don't like the decorations. And what do I mean by that? The moon is not digging the decorations in this party. The moon is not happy in the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio is about turbulence. It's about trauma, and it's like the moon wants to nurture and stuff, but the moon is like, but damn, like what how can I help? I mean, this is heavy. So Scorpio sign is pretty heavy for the moon to be in the first place. But okay, the moon has some friends there. The moon is interacting pretty well with some of the friends there. For example, Jupiter. So this is a nice juicy full moon, very full in its culminations, because it is in the sign where Jupiter is also in the same. It's not quite a conjunction, maybe about 10 degrees apart. So I guess you could call it a wide conjunction, but it's still in the same sign. It's vibrating on the same energy as Jupiter is. So this full moon, right then and there, you could say it won't be that bad. It's not, and I take that back. Full moons are not bad, period. Some are more heavier than others. Depending on where this full moon falls in your chart will depend on what area of your life that you're having conclusions. You're having settlements, things rising to the surface. All right, Pluto is in retrograde, so I think a lot will be really revealed, kind of the oil coming up to the ground. I mean, deep stuff going on. What is dealing with the sign Scorpio? These are the traumatic issues of life, right? Those experiences that you dealt with that were, they jolted you. They changed who you were as a person. So, now that we're battling here issues of the shadow, self-control, can you hold back? How do you use your control and your power? It's very similar to this retrograde here. And conclusions coming to the surface about one's shadow side, right? Maybe sometimes, we don't know how bad we are until we're faced with our mirror, we're faced with someone that can pull the Pluto out of us, all right? And they reveal like, oh my goodness, this was bubbling below the surface here. Things coming secret. Now, Scorpio rules the secrets that are known to us, right? Scorpio is secretiveness, period, right? Secretiveness, period. Intense emotional reactions coming up here. So, I mean, if you say something to somebody and they kind of take it totally out of its context and totally dramatize it, you don't be another dramatizer and make it much worse by, being dramatic yourself. Like, oh my God, I can't believe you just said that. I kind of had an experience like that, and I tried to hold back. I did. I really did, guys. So this moon, though, it'll be happy. It's like, hey, Jupiter, what's going on? All right. I'm vibrating on your field. Jupiter's like, hey, I'm just chilling. I'm asleep. I'm chilling in my room, relaxing, because Jupiter's in retrograde. right? So Jupiter's chilling, relaxing, and then the moon is here vibrating, doing its thing, and it's also sextiling with Pluto. So a lot of the things that will be revealed during this full moon for you or whoever, a lot of these things will be soothing. They'll be helpful to know these things. A lot of people will be able to get stability and grounding in what they know. Some of the things that will come up will give people optimism. And I know a lot of women are having optimism that, people can be prosecuted for what they do. They're held accountable for the things that they're doing here. And that can bring an optimism and a joy to people. And this Pluto retrograde, a satisfaction here, So that's the good thing, utilizing this energy for the better. So full moons are not good or bad. It's just certain energies provide certain challenges to the moon or not. So, when I use my party example of the full moon, it was at this party, it didn't like the decorations, but it was like, hey, my friends are there and we're working it out. We're able to see each other in a good way. And so I think things will go. This is a pretty balanced full moon, to say the best of it. And I'm going to go through the signs. And if you made it to this part of the video, I can explain to you where this sudden energy has come from to do all of the signs. And real quick, the sun has returned to its original place from the day I was born. Yes, it is. It is my birthday. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. No, I don't need any happy birthdays. I've never been big on happy birthdays and all that stuff. But I think it's fun to at least, be thankful in where you've been. This is my new year. I consider birthdays the new year, your personal new year, right? So this is where I make my own resolutions and I say to myself, I look back on the year. So last year on my birthday, I was booked with Netflix, my first co-star I had. So that was an awesome birthday and it led to an amazing year I had, but a very difficult year, but an amazing year. So thank you for taking it to the end of this part of my video. But now I want to go into all the signs and I want to talk about how each sign is going to be affected by this full moon. So starting with Aries, this full moon is going to be in your 8th house. I think this will probably be the deepest full moon for you. You are really going to the depths of any issues that you might have had, any traumatic issues that you might have been having or experienced, right? And you're going to feel it in your physical body. You might actually, let's say you were pissed off at someone and you didn't realize how angry you were at this person, and then you breaking out in hives and don't realize why you're breaking out in hives. So things are going to come to the surface, and how whatever low-key issues that were going on, even sometimes dealing with debt, messing with your anxiety, stuff like that. This is about a resolution here, bringing things to the surface that you need to work on that will actually help your situation. So it could be a situation that has to do with money or dealing with debt here. So through that knowledge given from your physical body can help you come to better conclusions. Follow your intuition, Aries. That is the main message for you this week, right? So then we're going to go to Taurus. This full moon is in your 7th house, right? So a 7th house full moon. The 7th house, we talk about here relationships, partnerships, ECT, yes. But there is also the house of open enemies. So this is a house, and it's ruling your 12th. So this is where you could really see who has been undoing everything that you've been doing, working on your relationship, maybe on your business. You can actually see how it is coming to the surface here, and you can see what's really going on. Is somebody undoing what I'm doing? Do I have a secret enemy? Do I have somebody low-key trying to mess with my relationship here? Or have I been working on my spirituality? Have I been working on my spirituality? And through that experience, I can heighten my experiences in my relationships. This could be in my marriage, or even change, right? Somebody could openly hate you. Like, I don't like you, Taurus. Maybe you've been meditating, doing your thing, and maybe you can kind of block that energy and, back off, okay? That's what you could do, Taurus. So use this full moon, like I said, to cleanse out what is unnecessary, right, in that area of your partnerships and all that good stuff. Gemini, this full moon is going to be in your 11th house. The 11th house talks about your hopes and dreams and wishes. What it is that you wish, what is the fruit that you want to bear? Do you believe you can bear it? That's more the 9th house. But what is that fruit that you bear, Gemini? So let's get to the bottom of it. Maybe you can decide, hey, You know, I'm hanging out with these people. It's not really working. It's time for me to move on because they're affecting my routine. Every time I'm trying to do my work, somebody wants to call me with some BS. And I can't handle this anymore. So maybe it's time for me to change my clique so that I can continue the routine that's going to bring me success, that's going to fulfill my hopes, wishes, and dreams. Or maybe through a routine, maybe you've been waking up early, maybe you've been working out, maybe you've been doing your thing. And through that, you can fulfill some of your hopes, wishes, and dreams that are coming to the surface here because it is in Scorpio. These are things that maybe hopes, wishes, and dreams that you haven't been telling anybody about that you really wanted to come to the light. So good luck with that. Cancer, this full moon is going to be in your 5th house. So this is dealing with your children. What are your creative pursuits here? What are your romantic pursuits? Are you having a good time, Cancer? I know Cancer for you is tough. You know, you have Saturn in your 7th right now and a full moon going on in your 5th. So I had to add that little dose of Saturn in there. So maybe you're really moving on from a situation, Cancer. Maybe you're really moving on, or maybe you're seeing how your career is affecting the need to move on from a situation. Or, you know, maybe you can see how, you know, your reputation has changed due to, you know, some of the dealings that you've been doing in your relationship. I hope you've been good, Cancer. You know, I hope you've been good because it is affecting, it will affect your career as well, or vice versa. So conclusions on a love issue. Definitely dealing with, you know, should I stay or should I go, and making the decisions. And usually it's very clear to you during a full moon, right? And this with the Scorpio energy, don't let it sting you, all right? Don't let it sting. Actually, and remember when I talked about the full moon terrain earlier, you know, in this reading, the full moon terrain isn't that bad. So whatever does come to the surface about what you need to do, you're going to feel good about it. It might make you feel more optimistic that, hey, you know, I could be with somebody else. What's that song? What's this song? I can't remember the song. I gotta go find somebody new. I'm gonna remember the song, y'all. Okay, so Leo. Leo, this is happening in your 4th house, right? So conclusions on where you need to be. Where do you need to, how far do you need to go in your past history and your roots? Because that's what's ruling the 4th house, right? Maybe there has been a change in how you see things. Maybe you've changed your belief with this Jupiter retrograde, what you believe in yourself, what you believe in your roots and your family, and what you can apply to this world. Maybe that has changed, okay? Maybe you've decided from what you believe, you know what, I want better. I want better, a better home. I want a better place to live. Maybe you decide to move across overseas here. You know, maybe if you've been looking to move overseas, it's finally come through. The paperwork, the money, that loan. Scorpio rules, talks about loans and stuff like that, borrowing money, right? A borrower, or just take it. You know, Scorpio, they just take that. So anyway, so for Leo, working through an old family issue that may rise to the surface as well. An old family issue that you might have changed your beliefs on. Maybe you're like, you know, I thought that this person was horrible, but you know what, they really taught me a lot here. Or I thought this person was great, but I realized they were taking me down a very abusive path. You know, how did it affect you? How did your past relations affect you? Is going to come to the surface. So Virgo, now you got this full moon in your 3rd house, all right? Now this 3rd house energy is not as intense, you know, as it will be for the other signs. It's usually nice to have a 3rd house full moon. So this is good information coming to you. These are new conclusions about, you know, small tasks that you've been doing, you know, the little things, because the little things are important and they add up. You know, 3rd house does rule the little things in life. So, you know, just making sure that you're doing your business here. You're doing your business right. You've closed in all, you know, applications you needed to hand in, you know, little short trips. Make sure you did all your errands this month. It's real simple with a 3rd house full moon. And the conclusions, writing some service about small tasks. You thought you were okay. Other people may help you run errands too. I don't know, maybe if your car broke down and you had an issue, you could look to family members or some cousins and stuff to help you out, come pick you up. Okay? Real simple. Libra, it's in your 2nd house, all right? It's in your 2nd house of building resources. What do you value within yourself here? All right, maybe through a partnership, you have changed how you value yourself. Maybe it has totally broken you down and you had to change, rearrange yourself and be a new person, right? Dealing with a conclusion in a relationship. You have finally come to light about who you are. And let's hope that it's a good place, right? Because sometimes we do terrible things and we're like, man, I'm a jerk. I didn't even realize I was a jerk like that when I'm in that type of situation. So situations will be revealed through your partnerships to let you know about, where you're coming from. What do you have to give? What do you have to bring to the relationship? What is the value that you have to bring to people? Also, finally feeling worthy of someone to be comforted by them. Maybe you'll be experiencing that, like, oh my God, I can love you. Like I can take your help. That's all right sometimes to do that, but I know Libra knows that. Okay, Scorpio. Now, this is a full moon in your first house, Scorpio. This is where you will have Jupiter in your sign as well. With the moon, the spotlight is on you, what you need to do for you, and how you need to make it work. This is about your health. Mostly, you will definitely be the one sign that is dealing with health. Definitely make sure that the body is cleansed and you don't have anything bubbling up in the surface on the physical body that you might have to take care of and deal with. I always notice during the full moon, whatever we ate, whatever things that we did, and the previous things that were in the previous months or weeks that were no good, it rises to the surface and you got to deal with it. And you're like, oh shoot, what is that on my arm? Oh no. So Scorpio, make sure you're taking care of your health. Make sure you're taking care of that spiritual health as well. And see, the results of a work project could also come up too. Maybe you've been doing something at your job. Maybe you're trying to change. Maybe you're trying to elevate. That will come to the surface as well. Sagittarius. This full moon is in your 12th house. All right, so this is what have you learned? What are the spiritual lessons? Because Jupiter is also providing spiritual lessons for you. You have been in another zone most of this year, with this Jupiter in there. And it's the ruler of your 5th house. So revelations on your spiritual growth and how far you've come to deal with relationships or to deal with your children. Because sometimes, we're like, okay, this spiritual work that I've been doing has revealed to me. Maybe I need to change my approach on dating and love relationships. Maybe I need to change my approach. Maybe I've seen now that I've gone within so deeply and so much, it has been revealed to me that, I need to change the type of person that I'm attracted to at this point. I need to change maybe how I'm dealing with my children. Or maybe I went too far out, because the 12th house also rules abuses. It's not necessarily spiritual stuff. It could be like drinking, alcoholism and stuff, and it's affecting your children, or your kids are coming to you like, look, mom, you're passed out on the couch drinking. You need to stop. Or blase. I know that's a tough one for some people that are actually going through that. But, it's coming to the surface. You're going to have to deal with it. What are those things you're hiding from yourself in that 12th house, right? What are those things that you're hiding from yourself that need to come out? And could be a positive thing too as well. Like, maybe you can find out that somebody who has it been that's been helping you, because somebody's helping you with that Jupiter in the 12th, somebody, but you just don't know who it is, right? So that could come out to reveal itself as well. Okay, now we got Capricorn. Capricorn, this full moon is in your 11th house. This full moon is where you decide, all right, who do I need to spend my time with? Who do I need to be around? Who is worthy of my time? Okay, because I brought someone to my house and my home and I didn't like how they acted in there. I didn't like what they were doing, so it's time for me to cut it off. Maybe you tried to have a party and people weren't acting right and messing with your stuff. Okay, because it's also the ruler of your 4th house. So maybe somebody was messing with your stuff in your house and you were like, you know what? We need to end this friendship, or you need to keep it moving. Or maybe you went away. Maybe something happened and you needed to go away, and you did have a friend that came to your house and he or she held it down. They held it down for you and you were able to do that. So now, you're able to trust them more, and the friendship can grow and be more solid here. So, and family can also help you see who your true friends are as well. So you can look to your family to actually get their opinion on the people you're hanging around, or the organizations that you want to belong to, right? What do you believe in? What are your hopes, wishes, and dreams as well? Because that also could come to fruition. All right, so Aquarius, I'm almost done here. Aquarius now, there's a full moon in your 10th house. This is that raise, this is that promotion, this is that elevation if you're ready to get to the next level, or a slight elevation that you can create an optimism that create growth for you. Because this full moon is really about growing. right? It's in Scorpio. It's next to Jupiter, right? So you may finally reach a height in your careers through your ability to communicate with the masses. Your ability to communicate with the masses will help you elevate to the next level that you're trying to go, right? Or, working with internet projects, using mass media communication, social networking, stuff like that, that can really help you. Use that to communicate what it is that you want during this full moon, and you should have some good results. Or through something you've probably already done is going to reveal itself as to working or not working. And finally, Pisces, this is a full moon in your ninth house, right? So deciding what you want to follow or what do you want to believe in. Okay, maybe it is a change in how you value who you are. Maybe you need to find a new teacher because this teacher has helped change the value or not help change how you value yourself as well. So maybe you could be dealing with a teacher that's just too hard on you, and now you're seeing yourself as a loser. And it's like, no, I'm going to have to get a new teacher. I'm sorry, this isn't working. You're going to have to switch it up or change. Also, conclusions, if you've decided to move or you decided to go somewhere else, maybe you want to go overseas, that will absolutely be able to manifest in its best way. So this was basically the astrological, breakdown of each sign and what they're going to be going through this full moon. I did actually extend it a little bit because it's my birthday. I felt like doing something special for my astro peeps, talking about solar returns. All right, solar return chart is when the sun goes back to the same spot, and there is almost like a picture being taken in the sky, and that picture in the sky talks about that moment that your birthday happened. Now, that moment, that day that your birthday happened, it's kind of like a snapshot for the rest of the year. And through that, that's where, you can find out what some of the trends of this year are going to be and all that good stuff. So if you like this video, you made it to the end, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And if you like this video, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the Astrology channel, as well as follow me on Instagram at Astro DEE stars 5, and catch me every Saturday talking about the weekly astrology horoscopes. And I hope that you all enjoy your week.